welcome to my channel, Amongst Outs. If you're new here, I am Samantha and I have a very different video for you guys today. I've actually gotten just a few questions about this topic, and so I thought that it would be fun to just go ahead and talk about this on camera and upload the video just in case maybe other guys had questions about this and maybe you just didn't want to ask, or maybe you're curious. So today I'm just going to chat with you and give you an update on my braces. So if you guys enjoy this video, please hit that like button. I know it's a different kind of content from what you're used to here on my channel. But if you aren't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into it. I have had a couple of you ask about my braces and why I got the braces and what it's been like, and also I've had quite a few of you ask me about my extractions and why I had to get that done. So I just wanted to go ahead and make a video. Maybe some of you are considering adult braces for yourself, or maybe you know someone else who is, and you can share this video with them. This is just my experience so far. I've only had them I'm in my 7th week. So I recently just had my first adjustment a week ago at my 6-week mark. So yes, let's go ahead and talk all things adult braces. As you can see here, I don't know, maybe you can't. I have like this aqua teal, I think it's teal, like this teal color on now. But the first 6 weeks I had clear, and I think that I'm going to go back to the clear at my next adjustment, just because when I was getting my braces, I actually really wanted Invisalign first, but I will talk in more detail about why that didn't happen. But the color is kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to get used to it. But let's go ahead and start from the beginning. So my son actually had top braces about 2 years ago now at this point. And that was his phase 1. He had his first phase, and that all happened while we were in Colorado. So when we moved here, we had recently just found a dentist that was really close to us and accepted our insurance, and it ended up working out really nicely because they have everything out of their one office. So we see our general dentists there, they have oral surgeons there, and they have orthodontics there. And so I really liked that everything was there in one place. It was really close to it's literally like 2 minutes from our house, and they see the whole family, so adults and kids. So when we all went for our first appointment there, so like our first cleaning and new patient appointment with this staff, I told them that I was interested in getting braces, because that same day of my general dentist appointment, we set up a consultation for my son and I for a couple weeks out. It was a couple weeks out. And I also had an appointment set up to get a wisdom tooth taken out. So a lot of people have 4 wisdom teeth. So I was born without any on the bottom. So I never had to worry about bottom wisdom teeth. And I only had 2 on top. But when I was still in the Air Force, they took out the one on the right side because it had came through. But they didn't take out the one on the left side because it was way too far up and it hadn't come down at all. And so they said like, oh, we'll just wait about a year and we'll be able to take it out. That one didn't come out for 10 years. So I got this taken out at like 20. At like 19 or 20, I got this one taken out. I'll be 32 on the 25th of this month in January. And so it has taken that long for this one to come out. So I want to say about a year ago, 8-9 months ago, this one popped out, and it's just been excruciating. And so I was really looking forward to getting into the dentist so I could get that tooth pulled. So anyways, I had that scheduled after the orthodontist consultation. And so my son and I went to the orthodontist and we did our consultation and we talked about all of our options. And I had crossbite issues on both sides. I have an overbite issue, as well as like some crowding and just general like crookedness that was going on. But because of the crossbite and the overbite, getting Invisalign wasn't going to be the best option, because I would still have kept all of my teeth in with no extractions, and all it would have done was straighten out my teeth without fixing any of the bite issues that I had. So, one of my biggest concerns, like, yeah, I want straight teeth, but one of my biggest concerns was I didn't really know about the crossbites at first, but the overbite, that's something that I've been like self-conscious about for as long as I can remember. So that, when she said that, I immediately knew, okay, Invisalign's not going to be the option. And so she had also mentioned, like, you can get the invisible braces, I think they're called, but they go on the back of your teeth instead of the front. However, you then get into the same problem with those where it won't fix your bite issues. So those two were immediately no longer an option once she said that. So then it came down to getting metal braces or ceramic braces. And I wanted something like, because I was interested in Invisalign, I didn't want something super noticeable or that made me feel like a teenager in a sense. I don't know how to explain it, but I I just didn't really want the metal, like something in your face, like, oh yeah, she's got braces. They're big metal braces. I didn't want that, so I went with the ceramic, and then so I decided to choose the ceramic, and then for my son, he also has a lot of issues. Like I said, he has already done phase 1 and he's done phase 2, so none of those other options were an option for him. And I mean, he's 11, so he doesn't care about metal or ceramic, so he got metal braces. And so then, in choosing to do the ceramic or metal, I then had to make the decision of getting teeth pulled. And so they could have done as much work as as they could have done a decent job of correcting my teeth and fixing some bite issues, but it wasn't going to be like what I was looking for without having extractions, is what she told me. And so then I had to get 4 on top. So I still hadn't had this extracted yet. But on top of that one now, I was going to need to get the bicuspids, I think they're called, extracted from the top and the bottom. So 2 on top, 2 on bottom. And you can see here, like there's there, and then this side and this side. I was going to need to get those all extracted, because then it was going to be able to help pull all of my teeth back, put them together in order to fix the overbite, but more importantly, to then fix the crossbite. So I knew that if I was spending the money to get my teeth corrected and to have some of these issues fixed that I've been wanting fixed for so long, then I needed to go ahead and just do it fully and not do it to where I could not do it to where I wasn't getting the full result of what I wanted, if that makes any sense. So what happened was we agreed to all the terms and everything, and we were actually able to get our braces put on the same day. I don't know how normal that is. I think usually, I know some of my friends have like done their consultations, and even my son, when he got them the first time, he had his consultation, but it still wasn't like for like 3 weeks or so to actually get the braces on. But we were able to go back there and get them put on that very same day, as soon as we did all of the paperwork, which was really nice. So what she did on mine, and so my son and I, my 11-year-old son and I, we both did everything both did everything on the same day. We did our consultation, had our images, and then got our braces put on all together. But I'm mostly going to be talking to you adults here, so I'm not really going to talk any more about what his story is and what all he had to have done and things like that. So this is just my story. So when we went to the back to get them put on, what she did was she just left the brackets off of those teeth that I had that needed to be pulled. And so the wire just went over that space to the next teeth. And they ended up changing my appointment where I had already scheduled to have that one removed. They changed it to where then I was also having those removed. And so that same day I got my braces on. I ended up going with the not clear or white, but I got the pearl. I guess there's a difference between the three. I got the pearl bands, and I did really like those, especially at first. My issue with those and why I decided to choose color this time is because I noticed some staining on them. I drink black coffee every morning, and I'm pretty sure that's where the staining came from. And so I think that it would have to be something that I give up if I want to get clear again at my next adjustment, because my husband said that he couldn't really tell that they were stained, but I definitely could tell every time I looked in the mirror that they were stained. Like, they just weren't the same as they were before. And so I felt like everybody could see that also, but he said he didn't. So I really don't know. I know what I saw in the mirror, but it's apparently different from what he was looking at when he looked at me. So I'm probably going to try them out again with not drinking coffee and see how 6 weeks with no coffee, if they don't stain at all, if they stay looking the same, I'll probably test that out. But so I got them put on, they changed my appointment, and then the next thing that I had to do, which I think was, I had a full week. I had a full week before I got like a full week and a half before I got my extractions done. But before that, after I got my braces on, the process of having them put them on and, doing the bands and all of that, none of it hurt, which I was actually surprised by. My son has a really low pain tolerance, but the first time that he got his braces, I remember him being like in so much pain. And I'm also an adult and he's not. And I have a higher pain tolerance than a lot of people. But it didn't really hurt me at all. And I didn't feel it until the next day. Now, obviously, like when you first, and I feel like I'm still getting used to them being in my mouth and like how my lips rub on them. But that first week is really tough because you're not used to having anything in your mouth, and how you talk is really weird because, again, you're not used to having these things like on your mouth, hitting your lips, just affecting the way that you sound and how your words come out, because you end up with a major lisp, and you just have to get used to that. But the other thing was, they didn't hurt that same day, but the next day they were definitely really sore. And so I noticed, and even still to this day, anytime I eat anything, I can't, like, if I'm going to eat a burger or, anything, I can't bite it right on. I have to tear or cut up everything and then just, chew with my back teeth. So I don't know if that's normal for everyone. I feel like I remember as a teenager, all of my friends who had braces would always bite burgers and burritos and stuff. But I can't do that. And my son, he isn't really doing that either. Like, we cut everything that we eat. But they also kind of told us to do that to take care of the brackets. And then the other thing is, like, you can't eat anything sticky. So, like, no gummy vitamins or fruit snacks or Laffy Taffy or any of that stuff. But you also have to avoid, like, really hard things. So you have to be careful with chips and different hard candies and things like that, because you don't want your brackets to break off. Because then, like, if your brackets break, the wire isn't being pulled, and then they're just not being effective because you're not having that pressure. And so that is exactly where the pain comes from. The pain comes from the pressure on your teeth. Like, obviously, the braces are working to straighten out your teeth. Like, they're moving your teeth, and so that pressure is what's uncomfortable. And it's especially uncomfortable in the very beginning when you're trying to eat. So, one, you don't want your brackets to break, and two, you don't want, like, to hurt yourself because you are feeling all that pressure and tenderness. So chewing was really hard in the beginning because of that, and I feel like I ate really, really slow. It took me so long to finish anything, and yes, it does take time to, like, be able to chew a little faster. So you're gonna have to take time eating your food. You might have to tear it up to eat it easier because it hurts to bite, especially, like, straight on. That hurts. And so, like I said, I had a week and a half of that, and then the other thing that you have to be aware of is make sure, like, definitely use the braces wax that they get you. But if you know that you're getting braces, go ahead and order extra and stock up on it, because in the beginning, well, over periods of time, as every time, like with every adjustment or every different movement, your mouth goes through different phases of like your lips or the inside of your mouth hitting the brackets or the wire a certain way to cause sores. And so having that wax is really important, just to like to give you some relief from it scraping and causing sores or scrapes. I actually had to use a lot more wax than my son did, which is really weird, but I use it a lot on the backs here and then on the fronts here. And then it would change, like over the course of the first week and a half, 2 weeks, it would change, because once those spots were like feeling okay and I didn't need the wax anymore, then I would have another spot that needed it. Lately, I would say I've been pretty good. Since my update, I've only needed wax a couple times, and I'm not using any now. But definitely have wax on hand. You're going to want it, especially as your teeth straighten and move. You're going to have wires at the back that are going to start poking out, because your teeth aren't crooked, and so you're technically not needing as much of that wire. So as your teeth straighten, you need less wire, and so where it goes is towards the back. And so that's when you're really, really going to want the wax, just to put it on the end there to cover up that wire from poking you. There are ways for you to like clip it at home, or you can even go to your orthodontist and they'll clip it for you. But the wax, just putting the wax on there for like that last week or so while that was happening to me, was totally fine. I didn't feel the need to clip it myself or anything like that. And so that is the deal with the braces wax and like getting the sores and stuff. And so the next thing that I want to warn you about that I wasn't really aware of is chapped lips. I get really, really chapped lips all of the time since getting my braces. And so the other thing that you are possibly going to want to have stocked up and on hand if you are deciding to get braces is chapstick. I am always needing chapstick, and I still kind of don't even really know why. I haven't asked my orthodontist about it, but just know that it is a thing. If you get braces, you are likely going to need chapstick on hand to help keep your lips hydrated and moisturized and keep them from being chapped and just cracking on you, because they do get really chapped. Okay, so now let's talk about the extractions, which were not fun at all. So initially, I was supposed to go under for my extractions, but I had completely forgot that they told me not to eat anything in order to go under. And I ate breakfast that morning, like literally 5 minutes before I went. And so when I got there, I couldn't go under. So I had the decision to either reschedule or to just do laughing gas. And I had that one teeth pulled in the past, and I remember like you can feel the tugging and stuff of it, but it doesn't really hurt. So I decided to go ahead and try the laughing gas, and they said that if it was too much that they could stop and we could reschedule. So we went through we went ahead and used the laughing gas for extraction, and the only one that I really felt was the wisdom tooth up here. That one, I felt tons of pressure, and I could just feel him like really working hard to get it out. And then every time he told me that he was moving to a new tooth, I didn't even know which one he was working on. And then I had no idea that he was actually done when he was done. So that can tell you the difference between getting like your wisdom teeth pulled, or like a wisdom tooth pulled, versus regular teeth. These don't have they are not nearly as painful, or I don't even think they're nearly as rooted as a wisdom tooth, because it took a lot less effort for him to get those out, which was nice. But afterward, the bleeding, oh my gosh. So you have to put gauze in, and because I already had like the braces on and I had all of these teeth pulled, it was kind of a mess. I was such a drooly, nasty mess, and I couldn't talk. And I wasn't really in pain until the next day, and I mostly just had a headache and like some soreness like in my like my jaw and my nasal passage, which I thought it was weird that my nose was sore, but they told me that that would probably happen. So I was sore there in those spots, and I had a headache, but that was kind of it. I didn't really have much pain in my mouth at all. However, it did take me, I want to say, because I got my extractions out in the morning time. So first thing in the morning, I got the extractions out, and then I went home and I slept. And like, I slept all day and night, and I also slept on the couch. So I was, um, I was awake off and on while I was sleeping because I had to change out my gauze. One, because of the amount of blood, and two, like I said, I was a drooly mess, so there was lots of blood, lots of drool. And they also told me it's going to look like it's a lot of blood that you're losing, but it's because you're really drooly. And I could say that because it wasn't super red. But yeah, it was gross and I was a mess. And so I went through I would say a full 24, a full like maybe 36 hours. So like the whole day, the day that I got the extractions, and then about 8 to 12 hours the next day before I could actually take out the gauze and leave it out. But then it just felt really weird to swallow my drool. Because like it's really hard to explain, but when you don't have teeth anymore, where you're used to having teeth and like your tongue moves a certain way for your whole life, when you no longer have those teeth and you're trying to talk or swallow, it's just really weird. So I would say it probably took me 3 days maybe before I actually was comfortable like swallowing the right way. And so after my extractions, I want to say it took me about 3 days before I could actually swallow properly. After the extractions, I had to be on a soft foods diet for about, I want to say a week just because it was really hard to chew. Um, And so what my husband did is he was so nice and he went to the store and I told him like I don't even know that I can actually eat anything right now, and he had stocked up on like mashed potatoes and stuff like that for me. So he went back to the store and he got me meal replacement drinks from Atkins, and those are actually the chocolate ones. They're actually really tasty. I still have some. I need to start drinking those because they're really good. They're quite filling as like a snack. I wouldn't say that like a full blown meal replacement, but they're good. Okay, so the first night I had eaten breakfast that morning, even though I wasn't supposed to, which I forgot about, and then I didn't have anything else to eat until about 8 o'clock that night, and it was one of those Atkins meal replacement shake drinks that my husband bought me, and I had like those containers are about like this big, and I had maybe half of that, and then I couldn't swallow. I had so much drool, and I was like, I don't know if I was just scared to swallow or what, but I just couldn't. I thought that I couldn't swallow, so it was really hard for me. And so the next day, I think I had one full shake the whole day, or maybe I had two. I had one or two shakes the next day, and then by the third day, I felt more comfortable because I didn't have as much drool or blood, and things were like starting to look a little bit better, and I felt more comfortable and I was able to swallow again. So I had more of those. I had another shake, and I think I ate mashed potatoes that day. I had a couple of those mashed potatoes, and so I think it was 2 weeks until I had my post-op. And then when I went to I wait. So the other thing that you can do is you can drink out of a straw, you can spit, you can do a lot of these things because you didn't want to end up with dry sockets. So anytime like I went to the restroom, and especially every time after I ate or drank anything, I would rinse my mouth out with warm salt water with like the syringe that they gave me. So I just made a habit out of it. Like every time I went to the restroom, I also rinsed my mouth, and then also every time I ate or drank something, I would go and do it again just to keep them wet, and so that they wouldn't get dry because that could cause some other issues or whatever. And so yes, when I went to my post-op appointment, which I think was like 2 weeks later, everything had healed up. Everything was good. I asked if I could use a straw again, and so they're like, yes, you can do everything back to normal. And so that's when I was like more comfortable chewing. I had already started to chew soft things, so like tortillas or like just meat. Soft meats were not bad. Pastas, I did a lot of pasta. So after the appointment, they said that I could start to eat, I could get more things into my diet and start eating more normal. But again, with the braces, to still stay away from the sticky, the chewy, and the super hard. And so I did that. And then, so the only other weird thing with the extractions that I've gotten better with, because like I've gotten more used to them, was just chewing and it not being weird. So at that time, my back, like, I was still going through the phase of like all of my teeth randomly being like really sore, and being able to chew on them or not. But then added to that, now I had the awkwardness of chewing with gaps in my mouth, like with these huge spaces in my mouth. And so that was really weird. And so what I did, and what I still do most of the times, I just push food all the way back to my back molars and I eat that way. It has made it a lot easier to like not cheat and not eat hard things, because if anything hard gets into those spaces, it hurts really bad. So I just don't do it. I just avoid that altogether. And yeah, so the extractions are a pain and kind of gross to deal with in the beginning, but once you get past it and you've healed up, it's really like, you just go back to normal, and I'm talking normal again. Like, it's not so weird to talk without, it's not so weird for me to talk anymore with those teeth missing. So I feel like I'm just back to the awkward lisp that braces give you, without the awkwardness of also not being able to talk because of missing teeth. So my talking has gotten, I think, as normal as it's going to while having braces on, which is really nice, because the first video that I made after my extractions, it was so hard to talk and get through that video. But I'm glad that I did. And so now, like I said, I'm in my 7th week, so I've already had my first adjustment. So what they did at my first so let me backtrack. When I first got them on, I just got everything generic. I got the thin wire, the brackets, the ties, the regular bands that go on your teeth. I don't have any springs or any rubber bands or any of that other stuff yet. So at my 6-week appointment, which is my first adjustment, is where they put on wire ties. So I have 2 here at the bottom, then I have 2 here at the top, one on the front teeth and then one on one of my side teeth. And those wire ties are used to rotate your teeth. So the regular bands and wire are to just straighten, and then they put the wire ties on my teeth to now rotate some of the ones that are like rotated incorrectly, to rotate them in the direction that they're supposed to go. So that is and I changed the color of my band. So I went from clear to blue, which those are changed every adjustment anyways. But I still have the same thin wire, and they just readjusted the wire. They clipped it down, and then they put the wire ties on, and then I got my bands put on my brackets as well, which again, I went with the teal this time instead of the clear. And that was all that I had to do at my first adjustment. And she did say that at my next, she said everything was looking really good. Everything is still really clean. Everything's moving how it's supposed to. So she said I'm doing a really good job taking care of my braces and my teeth, and letting them do what they need to do. And so at my next appointment is where we are going to start. She's going to put on the equipment to start working on closing up those spaces. So I'm really excited to get through these 6 weeks now, and let these do what they're going to do for over the next amount of time, and then get the gear on for the closing up the space. So I think at that point she's going to put on the brackets that go on all of my back teeth, because I don't have them all the way back. They end at this tooth here. So she said the brackets will now go on all of my teeth. I'll get the back brackets, and then I don't know if she's doing a spring or like I don't know what all they're called. I know that you can get a spring and a chain. There's chains that you can get. So I'm not quite sure what all she's doing yet, but I know that I'm getting all of the stuff for those to start closing next appointment. And I'm really excited about that. So that is my experience so far in 6 weeks and after my first adjustment with adult braces. I know this video is something different for you guys, but like I said, I had people ask me a couple of questions, so I thought that maybe if there was these people that were interested, maybe other people would be interested in my story and my experience as well. So I wanted to go ahead and put this out there and get your opinions on it. And if you guys would like for me to continue on with updating you along the process, and which I think would be really cool to like update you guys along the process and then lead you to like whenever I finally get them off in a couple years and then you guys can see like from beginning to end. So I think that's a really cool idea. But if you guys don't think so, let me know and we can just end it here. Otherwise, also let me know if you are interested in these updates along with my new adjustments to see what is happening and what my experiences are. And so, yeah. If you guys like this video, please hit that like button. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.